So the original script for this episode was 10 pages long. Yeah, it's a wee bit long for this show, so I decided, okay, you know what, let's just cut to the chase, front end the argument, just present it outright. Anita Sarkeesian's Tropes versus Women in Video Games. She's not a gamer, she really has no interest in gaming, and I think she played nearly 7,000 people for a fool. Oh, do I have your interest? Allow me to elaborate. Something to understand before I really get rolling in this. This has nothing to do with gender. I would have the same problem if some random dude came in and did the same thing that Sarkeesian has done, but since she's basically turned this discussion into all men on the internet hate women, there's really no point in arguing that it's not, because you can't change people's minds. It's kind of like that question, have you stopped beating your wife? It's a loaded topic to say the least. So, if you've already made up your mind, go ahead and just downvote the video, leave a nasty comment, and move along, as I'm not interested in wasting your time. Alright, that said, let's dive in. So, my first question, who is Anita Sarkeesian anyway? Finding even basic information about her is next to impossible. I would go as far as to say that all the information about her is very tightly controlled. Know Your Meme has more biographical information than she has on her own website, but here's what I could find to make her enough of an expert on video games in an 11-month period to produce this series.
Now, I'm a pop culture critic, I am a feminist, and I'm a woman. And I'm all of these things openly on the internet.
And that's about all she said on video about her qualifications to be an expert on gaming culture. Alright, so according to her own website, she's a media critic. She's earned a bachelor's degree in communication studies at California State University and a master's degree in social and political thought at York University. I looked those up, by the way. CSE's program has a specialty in communication for social change and rhetoric, which, according to the website, is ideally suited for students who are actively engaging in public discourse. She doesn't state her specialty, but that seems just about right. Now, her master's degree from York is, from all I can discern, a branch of philosophy in which students are prepared to tackle the big questions of social relevance. So the other thing I have to go on is her body of work. Now, this goes back to 2009, and when you look at the titles, you can see a trend. And wait, Smurfette Principle? When did she do that? And when did Lindsay do it? Okay, gotcha. Okay. And we also know from her prior work that she pirates movies.
I'm so sick of porn with my file sharing. What the hell, BitTorrent tracker sites?
Translation. This woman is media trained and internet savvy, which brings me to point 2 in all this. Somebody told me that I was being unnecessarily harsh because I was criticizing how she looked in this video. Okay, how do I describe this? Okay, when you're doing internet video, everything on the screen is controlled. I control what's on the monitors, I control what's on the walls, I control what shirt that I'm wearing. I'm controlling the image that I am portraying to you. You have no idea what's on the side of me over here. You have no idea what's behind the camera. That's unimportant because this is the reality right here and right now. And this woman has to know this. She's got a degree in this stuff. Again, her videos are tightly controlled. Nothing seems to be by accident. Her language choices,
blatant misogyny, cheap misogynist joke, misogynisty, victimhood, victimized women, state of victimhood, victimization of women, victimized women, women being victimized, victims, brutalized, mutilated, and victimized women.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Her emotionless voice.
However, this extra character development tends to make their eventual disempowerment all the more frustrating.
The overacted face palming. Everything is very tightly controlled. So it's interesting, when you look at her prior videos, you see one other trend. Her look was undefined. She went from the college girl next door look, the girly pink with cute hair tuft look. Sometimes she'd show some chest, sometimes not, but in this series, her hair's up, very professional looking. She ditches the glasses, I guess that would be just a little too geeky. Pro-level news anchor style makeup, lipstick, sharp eyebrows, and that shirt. Okay, the shirt is what threw me off, because it's a plain girl shirt on an anchor woman's body. It's almost like she's trying to give the appearance of an 80s to 90s arcade dweller, and I'm not misspeaking when I use that term. Here's one of her promo shots for the series, and actually I'm kind of impressed she found an old arcade with all the classics along the wall. What I'm saying is that the shirt does not match the pro makeup job. It would be a fair statement to ask, why should this matter? Because we shouldn't judge by appearances anyway, but we do. We're human. It's part of the human experience. Now, she has to know this. She went to college for this. So she cosplays as a gamer girl so that she can appear to be one of us, but in reality, we know she's not. Just watching her pretend to play is painful. She's ham-fisting arcade sticks. She's not using controllers properly. The controller's not even turned on, but the real tell is this promo shot of her next to a stack of games, which supposedly she bought specifically for this. Okay, I can tell you she's not played all those games. No, just roughly. It looks about 150 or so games. So, being very generous, let's say she can beat each game in 10 hours. Work with me, she might just be a master in missing her true calling. So, 1,500 hours of games, or about 62 and change straight days of gameplay, considering she bought all those games 11 months ago, and she's been lecturing and teaching since then. Yeah, she no way played all those games. If she did, she'd know that things like Dance Central, Beautiful Katamari, Heavy Rain, Little Big Planet, SSX, Skate 3, and StarCraft really don't support her position on misogyny against women. But she needs to look like a gamer for her audience. Without the look, she's just another person angry at a camera. But with the look, she's a gamer talking about issues important to her. When she pulls references to games out, they go unquestioned. Context isn't asked for because the audience trusts her. And this is a trust that she's abusing. But her series fails because Anita's not here to make gaming any better. She's here to preach at us for her own ends. Okay, from here I'm going to be drawing some conclusions based on evidence. I don't have the entire story, but this is a model of reality that works in my mind. And Anita, I hope I'm wrong. Let's start by going back into my own videos. In Blame Gaming from a couple months ago, I mentioned that the gaming industry is an easy mark to attack. I don't see a reason to revisit that now, so let's move on. Let's go back 4 years, 2009. The internet reviewer thing really starting to gain a head of steam, so Anita throws her hat into the ring with a web page and a YouTube channel that mostly goes unnoticed. Summer of 2010, she puts in her master's thesis to York University called I'll Make a Man Out of You, Strong Women in Science Fiction. In my mind, this is more than just a cornerstone of her work. Interestingly enough, she was also beaten the punch on this same topic by about a year by Nostalgia Chick on Tigwateg. Fast forward to 2012. In May of 2012, she opens a Kickstarter out of what appears to be nowhere to ask money from her fans to do research.
This is an incredibly ambitious project because of the scope and scale of the research and production involved. So please donate any amount you can to bring this video series to life.
She made her initial goal in 24 hours. The donations continued to flow in slowly until about June 12th, when it began to skyrocket in the last 4 days, maxing out at a little less than $160,000. But here's where I'm going to be making the big leap. Because, as I said before, her use of torrent software shows that she knows more about some websites than your average internet user, and her college courses taught her about social discourse. Yeah, I don't see where this is out of character for her. June 4th, 2012, she puts up a video to promote her Kickstarter, which had been up for a few weeks without incident or mention by any parties other than basically her own groups. It's the only video on her channel with comments enabled, let alone unmoderated. She starts gathering screenshots. She's farming for comments. She then parades these comments on her blog and then the online gaming press, claiming to be a victim of a cyber mob. Her funding on Kickstarter increases, but it was pretty slight. June 11th, this post appears on 4chan. It's an overused meme image and directly links to the Kickstarter page and says, "Let's harass her."
They also have a home base where they coordinate their raids and work together and communicate. And this usually takes place on largely unmoderated, largely anonymous message boards and forums.
Knowing that Anita is more than just a little internet savvy, I will go as far as to theorize she either posted that herself or she knew who posted this. Well, the post did its job, skyrocketing the Kickstarter over $100,000 in a few days when the usual suspects reran it as newsworthy. It's too coincidental to be accidental. So, why make a big deal out of the Kickstarter video? Well, let's go back to a video earlier in her career.
You might be surprised at the amount of times that I get comments that say, "Get back in the kitchen" or "Go make me a sandwich." But one way that I personally deal with comments is to moderate them.
That bears repeating. She outright says she moderates comments, and yet she let this entire YouTube section run unmoderated. Consider how much she controls her videos. She controls her biography. She controls her media presence. To simply let the comments run amok is completely out of character. Unless she's doing it for a reason. So what exactly is the end game? What is she hoping to accomplish with this series of hers? Well, like I keep on saying, she's obviously not a gamer, so it's not to make gaming a better place. No. I think that it's just a little more selfish than that. I will grant that it may be far-fetched to theorize that she's playing both sides of the fence here, but in the end, all of the turmoil has only served to benefit her and not any form of gaming.
But there is another side to all of this. Do you want to know what happened to my fundraiser after all of that? Well, first, the cyber mob failed to silence me, as is evidenced by me being here today. I actually raised 25 times what I initially asked for.
It's not unheard of for people to attack themselves anonymously for personal gain. Now, in that light, she's no better than your average internet troll. Her videos use a language of hate and accusation to go after gamer culture and offers no solutions to the problems she's bringing up. In the end, she's manipulating gaming culture. Essentially, she bloodied the nose of gamers and then cried about how mean gamers are because they got mad at her for punching them in the face. She encourages her fans to duke it out in small battlefields of their own personal social media for her and on her behalf. It all benefits her while she can just sit in her ivory tower. Ironically, she's done so well by playing the victim needing rescue that she continues to do so now.
I was also attacked by thousands of grown men, and apparently they casted me in the role of the villain. What happened to me, and sadly to other women as well, can best be described as a cyber mob.
Because it's really, really easy to seem like you're in distress, especially when people can't see who's holding the gun to your head. But here's the punchline. All of the things that she's saying about gaming culture, we've known about for the past bunch of years. There have been numerous videos, blogs, websites, and podcasts from people already discussing the topic of women in video games, real and virtual. Anita Sarkeesian is not only late to the party again, but she's also not bringing anything new to the discussion. And as much as I'd love to trot out some old footage once again, even I know it's a minority that's being phased out. Slowly, but it's happening. I think for me the takeaway is that gaming does not need Anita Sarkeesian, but Anita Sarkeesian definitely needs gaming. She needs it for a paycheck, and she needs it to make a name for herself in whatever industry she's in. All her videos seem to do is propel gaming backwards while launching her career forwards. At least that's my takeaway from it. That's all I got this week, guys. Nothing, sorry.